Hey everybody, I'm Ben Higgins.
Hey, I'm Serena Pitt.
Hey, this is Blake Moynes.
Hey guys, I'm Brendan Scanzano.
Hi, this is Alana Milne.
Hey, I'm Lindsay Hamilton.
And you're watching The Bros Ceremony.
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 And you're watching Bros Ceremony.
And you're watching The Bros Ceremony.
This is The Bros Ceremony.
Your journey's about to begin.
Recapping the week that was in Bachelor Nation and previewing what's to come in the next episode with some special betting odds.
Everyone can't wait to find out what happens next week.
Here are your hosts, Michael the Hound Dog Harrison and Adam Scully.
Will you accept this rose?
Will you accept this rose?
Will you accept this rose?
When you're in paradise and it feels safe, it's the opposite of safe. Ooh. Hello and welcome inside, yes, episode 30, milestone edition, number 30, the Marty Brodeur edition, some would say. Another number 30 in the NHL I can't quite think of. I'm trying to look at jersey numbers. I don't know. There's not many number 30s. The 30th edition of the Bros Ceremony. Looks like we made it. Michael, how are you?
Good. You unfortunately, you were not number 30, as you can see in the back there. You were 08. So too bad.
That was actually the year I was drafted in the OHL. We discussed that on our last episode. I was indeed drafted in the OHL.
Absolutely. And yes, milestones, as we've talked about, I've talked about on my H-Dog podcast, as we've talked about on these Bros Ceremonies, as I've talked about ad nauseum, good term, are absolutely useless and pointless and dumb because the 38th episode is going to be way more impressive than the 30th episode. But of course, we're going to make a big deal of the milestone because that's a nice round number, a nice zero at the end of it. So stupid. You asked how I'm doing, Adam. I'll tell you how I'm doing. I'm going to be honest with you. I was at my buddy's Costa's wedding in Ottawa.
Costa.
Yes. I was at his wedding last night, and quite honestly, when I woke up today and was on the train ride back to Toronto, I thought I might have to bail on Adam today. I'm not feeling so well, so I am playing hurt and injured. I possibly should be on the 10-day injured list, but you know what? I'm powering through it just for you, young man.
Now imagine, let's play that scenario out here. You send me that text saying, you know, man, I can't do this. So like, would I just vent for 45 minutes alone about the Bachelor series?
I think that people would, I'm sure, love it. And you get into arguments with yourself, hopefully, and it would blow up Instagram like crazy. I would hope anyway. But I am here. I'm ready to discuss these 2 episodes of The Bachelor in Paradise, which I watched the night before the wedding because I was like, what's going on?
I'm not sure if you heard that. There are fireworks going on right now. I don't know if the mic can pick that up, but there are loud fireworks outside my condo building.
Oh, nice. I watched the Bachelor in Paradise episodes, both of them, the Friday night. In case someone at the wedding watched The Bachelor in Paradise, I didn't want to shut them up and say, don't tell me. I don't want to hear any spoilers. And there was a lot of people who did talk about The Bachelor in Paradise. So that was actually a good call on my part there.
Well, no, I was going to say, before we get to The Bachelor in Paradise, wow, those are loud fireworks. Before we get to The Bachelor in Paradise, 2 episodes and 2 episodes that will get underway, first one starting tonight at 8 p.m., we got to discuss this wedding here a little bit. And you spoke about breaking Instagram. You posted an Instagram story. You were bopping your head. It looked like you were grooving a little bit. How are the dance moves? You've mentioned before that you're not really a dancer, but the dance moves came out. Is that correct?
Well, it's one of those things where definitely for me, there is not a chance in hell in a million years I'm ever going to dance if I haven't had a drink. I don't know how anyone does that, how they can actually dance without having like many drinks or much liquid courage. And so for me, it's like, no, I'm not going to dance. But I kept telling people, just wait it out. At some point here, I will find that courage. And once I get to that level, look out. And I'm not saying I'm good. I'm sure I'm not, but I have a lot of moves. I'm not saying they're good, but I have a lot of moves. And I was ripping up the dance floor for a good couple hours because I got a little worried there at about 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, if I don't put the foot on the gas pedal here, by the time I'm ready to go, everyone might already be leaving. So I was a little worried. So I had to go a little bit, maybe a bit faster than I maybe had anticipated there. But awesome wedding, great stuff to have the wedding, and a really good time. And you know what? The song that I requested, I've Got a Feeling by Black Eyed Peas, was played, and that's what got me really going.
I feel like that song, I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas, that always just gets the night going on a good pace. I mean, it's certainly kind of an old song now, going back, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 years at this point, probably a little more, but it gets you in a good mood. I'm sort of thinking about it right now. And you know what, Michael, I've got a feeling that episode 30 of the Bros Ceremony is going to be a good one. See what I did there?
I do like that.
Hardy.
I also think that what else that puts us in a good mood is Bachelor in Paradise episodes.
That's
and
right.
there's 2 epic ones this last week. My goodness. What'd you think?
Yeah. So it started out where Chris Conrad happened to show up, and I don't know about you, but this guy walks in and I'm like, I have no idea who this dude is. And he walks in with Chasen. Now, of course, Chasen was on Tayshia's season of The Bachelorette, and he kept calling her a smoke show, smoke show. You're a smoke show. So now these guys call each other the Smoke Bros. Quite a bromance there. What were your thoughts on their double date that occurred last Monday?
My thought was that I think it was Serena Pitt, past guest of the Bro Ceremony, who said all women want to be called smoke shows. It made me think, would you want to be called a smoke bro?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. You?
No, I think that I'd be. I do not. I'm not just a piece of meat, Adam. You know, I have hidden depths and layers and such. Like an onion, you peel off all the onion and whatever the hell the expression is. The actual date, who would they go out with again? I don't know. These 2 guys, they haven't really, to be honest with you, they haven't made a huge impression with me, really. Obviously, Chasen's already gone. He was very cocky that he was going to get the rose instead of my man Carl, which we'll get to in a bit. I love Carl.
Oh yeah.
But neither one of them got the rose. So, and yeah, Chris, he's, I guess, a little cocky, but he hasn't really done much to one way or the other for me, really.
Yeah, so it was Chris and Jasenia and Deandra and Chasen, and their date included it was like an intimacy date where they were sort of kind of quasi straddling each other, and then a Kama Sutra was brought out. For first dates, it was pretty strange. And but you know what? It seemed like Ivan and Jasenia were vibing, as the kids would say, but Chris came in and swooped right in. So I guess Chris has some game. And I mean, what season was he on? Was he on the last season? I don't even know what he was on.
No, I think he did say he was gone in the very first episode. I'm pretty sure. So they always like to do that. I feel on Paradise every single season. They like to have 1 or 2 people who nobody knows, just to make it kind of be like, wait, what? So they definitely enjoy doing that for a whole new audience. They won't know the person anyway if they don't really watch the other. I get a lot of feedback. People saying they don't really like necessarily Bachelor or Bachelorette, but they love Bachelor in Paradise. So I guess it's a new character, basically a new character for those diehard Bachelor, Bachelorette fans who are like, I don't know who this person is.
Right. Now, I guess on the opposite side of things, Connor played a big role on The Bachelorette that Katie was. Those fireworks, I'm not sure if you can hear them, but they are loud.
And as opposed to quiet fireworks?
Yeah. As opposed to quiet fireworks. I don't know where these are. I don't know if I'm in danger right now. I'm guessing I'm not. But anyways, so Connor, yes, I'm trying to think of where I was getting to. So Connor was seeing Marissa, and then Marissa had this hot and steamy date that ended up in the boom boom room with Riley. And when Connor found out about this, he was not so pleased because, of course, him and Marissa had somewhat of a thing going on. So Connor walks out. He's got this it's like a matching head to toe sort of. I mean, he's got 11 buttons open on the shirt because that's just his go-to. Tries to do like a do-it-yourself date where, you know, like some people are handed date cards, but he said, you know what, Marissa, I'm doing something special for you. And she was sort of like, oh, we'll see. Yeah, very non-committal. It was like, oh, that ship has sailed.
Yeah, it was not so good. Did that shirt that he wore, by the way, do you think you can pull that off? And also, do you have a shirt like that? The two different, basically 2 shirts in one, essentially.
I do have head to toe floral.
Why aren't you wearing that on the Bro Ceremony?
Well, I don't have it in a suit jacket because it's our mandate that we have to wear a jacket and a dress shirt or a turtleneck.
It's true.
Now, if I were to get a floral jacket, I would most certainly rock that or try to rock that.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be able to pull that one off. That's not something that full props to him. And it seems weird because on his original season and on Paradise, everyone loves Connor, but for some reason, love hasn't found him yet. I get a feeling he's gonna be on. I think we talked either a future Bachelor in Paradise season, or as I think we talked about last episode. That girl that he saw in the audience of the Bachelorette Men Tell All was this film before or after Paradise? Like maybe they're gonna be dating or something like that. So I don't exactly know the timeline on that, but I get a feeling we're gonna see Connor on another Bachelor in Paradise for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And, he's such a beloved guy. Even, speaking with our good buddy Brendan, who we'll get to in a little bit here on their season of The Bachelorette, when he left, everyone was crying.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was heartbroken that this guy was going home. Just a really good glue guy, if you will, a good guy in the locker room, so to speak. Another good guy in the locker room. Hell of a segue there. Joe, grocery store Joe. And so he was given a one-on-one date. And of course, him and Serena are, off to a great start here. 12-year age gap, 23 years old. Joe is 35. Yes.
Good math.
Thank you. And couple hits to the head here. And their date was in a boxing ring where things took an interesting turn, didn't they?
When I watched that date, I couldn't help but think to myself, am I allowed to have a man crush on grocery store?
Absolutely, you are. Yes.
But just specifically his grocery store Joe's smile. Is that too specific to have a man crush just on a smile? It just lights up the room. You're like, you can't but not be in a good mood when that guy's smiling. No, you love to laugh, don't you, Adam?
I do. I'll have to look out for this in tonight's episode because I literally have not thought about his smile and how it lights up a room. But I will definitely watch out for that.
It's a pretty good smile, but it does seem actually like a real, some of these people you could just tell they're couples just to stay on the show type thing. It does seem like Joe actually does, and Serena both. They seem like actually good people, and I enjoy both of them. And seeing how and as you know, in tonight's episode, the start of the preview for tonight's episode, Joe's ex Kendall is going to come onto the island, and that's going to be bring some fireworks or whatever. But I think Joe can and Serena can work out. I really do. I think Kendall will be there to, of course, to make some drama, stir some stuff up. But I think Joe and Serena are for keeps.
Yeah, that's for sure. They're off to a great start here, and it seems like they have a good connection. They had a little fun in the boxing ring, sort of going toe to toe a little bit there. So looking forward to seeing what happens in their relationship as Paradise moves forward. Now, you mentioned fireworks, and boy, oh boy, do we have some fireworks involving a cake. Wow. So Demi got Kenny a cake for his 40th birthday, which he celebrated in quarantine, I believe. And Mari, not a fan of that. So Mari and Kenny, of course, had they started out coupled up, I guess you could say. And then Mari went up to Kenny saying, I guess we can start exploring other things if you want. Was incredibly non-committal about it, which is really weird. So then Demi swoops right in, as you do in Paradise, and they're locking lips in 4 or 5 minutes after that. So what are your thoughts on the Demi, Kenny, and Mari love triangle? Because that love triangle expands to a love square coming up a little later, which we'll get to. But first, the Demi and Kenny and Mari fiasco with the cake.
I love that. Initially I'm like, wow, Demi seems like she doesn't seem to be too bad with Mari. Like, it's kind of interesting to see her being quote unquote normal and not actually, stirring the pot. And of course that was just a setup for obviously then betraying Mari essentially. But I don't know. I don't really see it as being that much of a betrayal, really. I mean, you are all there to find someone, and Mari basically said, I understand her point of view, though. It's like, I didn't say I wanted to necessarily go out with anyone else, but you're obviously leaving your options open. So there's definitely some I could see Kenny being like, well, I don't want to stick with you, and then if you decide not to at the end, and then I'm kind of screwed as well. So they're all, because of this, they're all scrambling to find someone because they need to extend their 15 minutes of fame big time. So, but yeah, Demi. It's fascinating to me, this character that it seems like she may be a little bit, may I say, a little insecure perhaps, as she just seems to have to kind of go to a boom room in order to impress Kenny. It doesn't seem like she's all that, doesn't have that much self-confidence, if I may play a psychologist, an amateur psychologist for a second on that one.
Well, I mean, you did get your degree in psychology, so we can. No, you did. That's a lie. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, and Demi's back on Paradise, and she definitely loves to stir the pot, but she's definitely looking to find love. And are Kenny and Demi going to get married? Probably not. I don't really see that really happening. But I mean, as their love triangle sort of sparks, or things are happening with, I don't know what I'm trying to say with that, as their love triangle is forming, I guess you could say, or with Mari not really happy, other connections are occurring. And I mentioned that double date that was a little earlier. It seemed like they were on that date forever, but eventually they showed up. And so Carl was all wanted to see his girl again, who was out with Chasen. That was Deandra. And so Carl had this whole thing planned. He was going to take her aside, and he did. So Carl, with his golf shirt on, takes Deandra aside, and in comes Chasen. And it comes Chasen again, and then comes Chasen again. And that, my friend, was what I call cringe-worthy television. Thoughts?
Actually, I honestly, it really feels like Carl this season redeemed himself. It seemed like he was talking to his guys from his season, who I know initially were probably like, "Oh God, Carl's in the season." Actually, I'd love to ask Brendan, that past guest, of course, we and be like, what is the deal with Carl here? Because it seemed like on his season the guys didn't like him, but this season he seemed pretty good. He seemed pretty mature when Marissa said like, "No, I'm not feeling it. I need to give the gift back." Blah 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 blah. He actually seemed like a legitimately decent enough guy this season, or whatever. Like, it was just it always is fascinating to me to see someone be able to change their image a little bit. And I was pulling for Carl, but yes, he's a little eccentric, a little bit weird, but I like that. I think he's good TV, and I would not be stunned. Again, just like with Connor, I wouldn't be stunned if he came back again.
Me too. Thought a lot of great things about Carl, and it seems like he's redeemed himself. Just maybe next time, Carl, maybe bring something other than a golf shirt.
What's the deal? Okay, we talked about fashion before. Why is that a
You're
bad
on
thing?
national TV. You gotta wear something flashy.
Oh, he's got to wear a suit? Is that what you're saying?
No, just not a golf shirt.
Okay, so you can't wear a golf shirt. You can't wear a gym shirt. You probably shouldn't give a gift to a woman, maybe shirtless. You're not supposed to wear a suit. What is he supposed to wear, Adam? What is Carl supposed to wear? He can't do any of those other things. What would you say Carl should absolutely wear in the island then?
I think, a short sleeve button down, perhaps, maybe a tank top, like you're on the beach, like you're
so
not.
A tank top is better than a golf shirt?
Yes. On the beach, 1,000%.
Okay. Well, I guess previously I'd rather a pool over a beach any day. Beaches are boring. I know it's probably a hot take.
I do agree with that.
But it's like, okay, it's cool for 5 minutes, and afterwards I'm like, okay, I'm just what are we doing here? Like, at least go to a swim up bar if you're in like the Dominican Republic. Buy one of those big Bubba kegs, by the way. Instead of having to go back, don't keep going back to the bartender in the swim up bar. Easy for me to say. Don't keep doing that. Just buy a Bubba keg and they'll fill it, and then you don't have to go back. Back and forth. It's perfect. But yeah, give me that pool over the beach any day. But yes, I don't think the golf shirt's not a bad play, Adam. Sheesh, I didn't know you're such a fashionista, or a fashionista judge, I should say.
An FJ, a fashionista judge. Maybe I should add that to my resume or CV. Yeah, that's
an FJ.
Yeah, FootJoy. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But getting back, I mean, it seemed like we almost had some fisticuffs there, but we're back. And speaking of fisticuffs, I mean, as episode 1 this past Monday comes to a close, Aaron and Thomas, where to begin with this? So, Aaron's just hanging out with James and Trey, talking about God knows what, and walking right past them, Tammy and Thomas, right past them. And what do? They go onto one of the day beds, and Tammy straddles him. And it was like, oh boy, things are escalating at a big pace here, aren't they?
I love Tammy. I think it was last episode we talked about how I think Tammy's great TV. She clearly seems to be fine with embracing the role of the villainess a little bit, because I mean, she has to know. She was like, I don't understand. Why is he so upset? Okay, come on, Tammy. You obviously have to know why Aaron's gonna be very upset about that. Even outside of the fact that, like, that they were mortal enemies. Just the fact that like he was with you and then you're making up with the other guy, which of course you could do. She, of course, they're all trying to find love. What she didn't is no problem, but you have to know. Come on, the guy hates him so much. Clearly, he's gonna be pissed off about that. But I love Demi. I think she's awesome. I don't think necessarily what she did was wrong in terms of what she actually did. But it's just funny to me that I thought they were crocodile tears at her crying about like, why is he so upset? Like, again, come on. You obviously have to know because Aaron seems to. I think who was it? One of the new people. Oh, was it maybe Becca? I think it was. Yeah, it was when Becca came on. Who, by the way, let's talk about that.
Oh,
she said. Aaron is like the funniest guy on the beach, or she was told that Aaron was the funniest guy on the beach. Do you remember that comment?
I think
so. I think pretty much all they've edited for the most part with Aaron in his Bachelorette season and Paradise is a guy who seems to be very, very angry very often. But he seems like, all the boys seem to love him, so he's a good guy. But I don't really feel we've seen this sort of funny side of him all that much. So I'm intrigued by her saying that he's like the funniest guy on the island.
Yeah, me too. And, Aaron's also a guy, says bro a lot. I've noticed that. Loves to say bro. So all the guys are close, which is cool. And so obviously Aaron and Thomas, they just don't see eye to eye for many reasons. And Tammy coming in, essentially choosing Thomas is another one. But Lance Bass, of course, that episode ended on a bit of a cliffhanger saying, guys, I have a big surprise. This is going to change everything. And I love when they say that in this series. And who walks in? Becca. Yes, the past Bachelorette walks in. Didn't really see her much on Tuesday's episode, which I was disappointed with. But Michael, heading into tonight's episode, I'm expecting big things from Becca. What do you think?
I'm trying to remember on the season preview of her coming onto the show. There was obviously they did tease it because I do remember Carl in the season preview was like, Becca's here. And I'm like, sweet. Halfway through that episode, I'm thinking Carl's going to survive this episode. Awesome. And then once I realized what the big thing was that she was arriving, I was like, oh no, then that means he might be gone. And then sure enough, he was. I get a feeling that I don't remember very much more from Becca in the season preview. So I think she might just be, as she normally is, just she'll stay out of the drama and it'll be pretty normal for Paradise. It's still not normal, but given how usually things pop off there, I think she'll be pretty down to earth and low key.
I think I recall seeing her in one of the previews at a dinner or one-on-one with someone and just being sort of shocked and amazed and incredibly happy. So does Becca get engaged? Only time will tell. I know our viewing audience, we've received some complaints, some concerns about us saying only time will tell, but looking forward to seeing what Becca has in store for tonight's episode. Now, speaking of tonight's episode, we'll preview that a little more, but let's talk about last Tuesday's episode. And someone else showed up who has also been on this series before a couple of times, and that was Tia. Tia happens to walk onto the beach and right away, talks to a lot of the guys, but Kenny and Tia are vibing. They like each other's accents. So Tia takes Kenny on the date. Demi isn't very happy with this. Of course she's not. Now, Michael, what are your thoughts on, before I'm going to ask you one question, then I'll ask you a follow-up question. What are your thoughts on playing volleyball on a beach?
I love volleyball. Volleyball is great. I used to be really good in high school. Only the serve, though. Just the serve. Everything else, not so good. I was amazing at that. And on the beach, a lot of fun. I haven't done it in forever, but I like it. Having said that, I haven't done strip volleyball on the beach before.
Okay, so it wasn't just, okay, so I wouldn't call it strip volleyball. I would just call it naked volleyball.
True. Yes. Yeah.
Because if you're playing strip volleyball, maybe you lose 10 points in a row. You have to remove your socks or something or whatever, an article of clothing. But whoever they were playing against, Tia and Kenny, they were just fully nude out in the open. And so Tia just takes off her bikini top. Kenny, because Kenny walked on naked to the season of Paradise. So he was totally fine flaunting it. And I think Tia was fine with that too. It seemed like they had some interesting chemistry.
The last 3 days I've been thinking about this so much about Kenny, but what I was thinking was not what you thought I was going to talk about. He reminds me of someone. I can't put my finger on it. I'm like, who is this guy remind me of? Is there someone that's obvious to you that's coming to mind? It's driving me nuts though. I'm sure I'll finally figure it out. I think it's the way he talks, his demeanor. I don't know if it's a past. I know this is not obviously helpful. I know it's. I don't know if it's a past bachelor alum or if it's like an athlete. I feel it's an athlete that he reminds me of, and it's driving me crazy. But when I figure it out, I'm gonna be so excited because it's someone, and maybe it's.
How about Jonathan Taves?
Hold on, okay, it's not bad. I was thinking Steve Yzerman, maybe. Steve Yzerman? Does that make sense?
Similar faces.
Yeah, maybe that. Now that I think about it, maybe that's the thing. What I did love though on that date was that they were saying like basically like, oh, usually of course you go on a date with your clothes on, and then eventually maybe they come off at the end of the date. It reminded me of my favorite game show, perhaps ever of all time, Naked Attraction, where the British. Honestly, you guys got to watch the show. It's on you. It's often on YouTube. Sometimes they put it on, sometimes they take it off because they're literally naked people. And yeah, they pick people based on their attraction to them being naked. And then they eventually pick the person they think is most attractive naked. And then they go on a date clothed. So it's dating in reverse. So the whole thing with them playing volleyball naked reminded me so much of that Naked Attraction show, which is amazing, that show.
Yeah. You know what? I've happened to come across that show. May or may not have been with you at the time, actually, when we were watching that show. And it's interesting television. We'll put it that way. But Michael, the episode had some twists and turns. Noah and Abigail were talking. Are they going to stay? I'm curious how that happens. I don't really see it, unfortunately. But they've had so much time to sort of sit around, and it seems like Noah's not really in it, but which kind of sucks because Abigail is this superstar, this stud, this absolute sweetheart. Big fan of Abigail over here. But sorry, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think they have no chance of succeeding. Also, by the way, when they were around that campfire where the cake was thrown into the fire,
right?
I think they were talking. I think Riley brought up like places you've had sex or something like that.
Oh yes.
Abigail said that she's had sex on the golf course before.
Wow,
interesting.
Michael, I'm not going to ask you if you've had sex on the golf course because that's just that's not for this platform. We're not going to discuss that. Anyway, so this episode's many twists, many turns. Of course, relationships are forming. Like I mentioned, didn't really see much of Becca, but at the end of the episode, in comes Kendall. And typically when people walk in, they go for the intro, say hi to everyone. Kendall walks in, does the blow by right by Ivan and says,
"Beeline.
Where's Joe? Where is he?" What do you think happens tonight with Kendall and Joe and Serena?
Was it just me, or did he not? He didn't seem all that crazy shocked whenever she arrived. Did you get that impression? I was kind of like, he wasn't like, "Oh my, what the heck?" Like, he was just sort of like, "Oh, dang." So I'm pretty sure he knew she was going to come onto the show at some point. Is my assumption. I think honestly, like I said earlier, I think that Joe and Serena will be able to survive this. I honestly think. Now, I don't know if I'm assuming Kendall's going to be an actual regular contestant on this show, or is she only on there to talk to Joe? I'm wondering. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, are they just going to have a conversation and maybe Joe will say, you know what, listen, I've got this great connection with Serena, but stay, try to find someone. And maybe Kendall will say, no, I just want to be here with you. I don't know, but I'm sensing some fireworks. Fireworks have stopped out here, but I'm expecting fireworks tonight.
Maybe it'll be a short pit stop for Kendall on the episode of Bachelor in Paradise. I've still got the bad jokes, Adam. I still got the bad jokes, even though I'm playing hurt right now.
I know Instagram's going to love that. That's for sure. Now, episode, is it 6?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The first week there was one episode, and every week henceforth there's been 2 episodes. Yeah.
Episode 6 gets underway tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Episode 7 tomorrow. Now, Michael, we've handled a lot of things in Bachelor Nation on this episode, but one thing we haven't discussed here a little closer to home. This past Thursday, past guest on the show, Brendan, was out on the town with past Bachelor, I guess you'd call her Bachelor alum, or she's been on The Bachelor before, McKenna. Yes, she's also Canadian. She was in the Toronto area, and they were out and about in Toronto, and I know Instagram blew up because of this.
And I hope that Brendan and McKenna find love with each other, because they seem like they're a cute couple. I don't know any updates on that. I'm sure we will find out as the days and the weeks go on. But it seemed like they were having a good time. At least their Instagram stories seemed like they were having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And even though obviously that'd be really, really, really weird for me to be the third wheel on that date, I still have yet to go hang out with Brendan. So still a lot of FOMO in that area for me. However, hoping maybe I can actually meet him this week. Fingers crossed, because that would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be amazing. Potentially something in the works here. Maybe Brendan will come on the show again in a couple of weeks. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Now, Michael, we're 5 episodes into Bachelor in Paradise. We saw some fireworks last week. Do you have any final thoughts on this episode? Oh yeah. There's no chance you have final thought. Your head is hurting. You're like, get me off this thing. I thought he was signing off, and here I just throw you a curveball.
It never fails. Literally every time you ask that is when I don't have final thoughts. And every time you don't ask it is when I do have final thoughts. Frustrating beyond all belief, Adam. But my final thoughts are, I am the world's best dancer ever. The GOAT. The term GOAT is thrown around way too much nowadays. It's like basically the same thing as the favorite or best friend thing. Like everyone has 20 GOATs. It's like, no, it's greatest of all time. That's what GOAT means. So there should only be one. But I'm going to tell you, I'm the GOAT dancer.
Well, I think you have to get married soon then, so I can see these dance moves, or someone has to get married soon that we know, some sort of mutual friend of ours, because I'm not getting married soon.
Someone like Brendan to McKenna, perhaps?
Oh.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Well, Michael, can you believe it? The milestone episode 30. We're 30 episodes in the books of the Bros ceremony. We've made it this far. Thank you to all of our loyal viewers and listeners and subscribers and fans from coast to coast for tuning in to 30 episodes. We love doing these. We love adding our own little unique spin and opinion to these. I know some people might think it's kind of weird, but you know what? We're having fun with these. And Michael, I know you're looking forward to us bringing many more of these episodes to all of our loyal viewers.
I'm looking forward to, I guess that is my final thought. I'm looking forward to having a milestone episode every 10 episodes and making such a huge deal about how awesome milestones are. I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely. I will say the 100th episode, when we get to that benchmark, will actually be a pretty cool milestone.
It really will be. I already can't wait to episode 40, the Patrick Lalime edition. I'm incredibly excited for that. Don't forget, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We have episodes coming out every Monday. It'll be a busy time for us. We have Bachelor in Paradise Canada coming up soon, the next season of The Bachelorette with Michelle. The Bachelor is not stopping. We'll be here every Monday, recapping the week that was and previewing that night's edition of whatever series of The Bachelor is going on. For Michael the Hound Dog Harrison, I'm Adam Scully. Thanks for joining us right here on the Bro Ceremony.